Nobody knows where the fog came from. Some say it's punishment for our sins and secrets. All I know is that the sun shines over the horizon, and I'm going to take us there.
Hello friends, SentinalhMC here, and welcome back to Lifting the Fog. In this episode, we're going to discuss carriage alignment, as well as the carriage control board itself, how you can affect what the carriages think about you, and the effects of the various carriage states. Clicking on one of the boards on the carriage control panel, or on the panel itself, will allow you to look at it in depth. Hold the right mouse button in order to move your view around. Or click on one of the numbers to open the notebook to that carriage. On here you'll receive much information about the state of the carriage. The carriage's state is indicated by a symbol. This can either be a shield, a fist, or a circle. The shield indicates that the people on that carriage really like what you're doing. They think you're doing a great job as the engineer, and they will support you in anything that pops up. You may think that this is just a good thing, but it's actually not. Because if these people become too fanatical, they may conduct a purge of the train. If a purge occurs during the guard phase, people from the instigating carriage will travel from the front of the train all the way to the back of the train, gathering up supporters who also have this defensive state, and murdering people who don't like you, who are in the other states. This is a very bad thing, because a lot of murder and death will decrease the morale of your train by increasing chaos, and fewer passengers means you have fewer resources, fewer people to send on scavenging missions, although you will have fewer mouths to feed. If this icon is a fist, the people on that train don't like you. They think you're doing a rubbish job as engineer, and they may instigate a rebellion. If a rebellion is instigated, people from that carriage will travel from the back of the train to the front of the train, trying to gather supporters. If they gather enough supporters, they'll beat down your door and drag you off the train and throw you into the fog, resulting in a game over. You don't want that to happen. So it's very important to keep people out of that state by fulfilling their requirements and keeping them happy. The third state, and the one that you're probably going to want to try and maintain, is indicated by a circle. This is the neutral train cars. Carriages that are neutral think you're doing an okay job. They don't really care one way or the other at the moment. They don't think you're doing particularly well. They don't think you're doing poorly. If you can keep everyone in this condition, keep every carriage neutral, you will never have to worry about purges or rebellions. However, if a purge is conducted, neutral people are not safe from the wrath of the purge. From the carriage control, you can also see what orders are currently underway. Currently there aren't any orders, so you see little clocks. Different orders have different symbols, so you can tell at a glance what each carriage is doing. You can also see how many passengers are on that car, and how many cargo slots are currently being taken up. It's important to remember that defenses take up cargo slots, so they will also appear on this list. At the right, you can see the big glowing green lights, which represent the integrity of that carriage. If the integrity falls, the carriage will be destroyed, which is a very bad thing. Currently, everyone's fully repaired. If a carriage is below maximum integrity, you can issue a repair order to have the people repair it. Importantly, there's also the power meter. The power meter is very important, and you'll want to be manipulating this throughout the game. The orange rectangular lights are the amount of power you're currently allocating to that carriage, while the small red lights is the power request of that carriage. If there's more red lights than orange lights, it means that carriage desires more power than you're giving it. Power consumption is increased by things like electronic defenses. And it's very important that none of your carriages run out of power. You can increase and decrease the power by pressing the up and down arrows, and monitor the overall state of your engine's power, of your train's power. Ooh. Didn't know I could change that. As well as adjusting various things from this little battery meter, where you can see the engine's charge and the carriage's draw. You want to try and keep carriage draw low and engine charge high. And these orange lights also represent how much power your batteries currently have left. This will only ever go down if you turn the engine off. If a carriage runs out of power, people will disappear. Pretty much immediately. You can use this to kill off specific people on your train. This will also result in increased chaos. But it is something that you are allowed to do. If I wanted to get rid of someone, I could move him to carriage 3 and then turn the power off, and he'll disappear into the fog. It's important to keep up on your various carriage informations. Information is power in this game. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Into the Fog. Stay tuned for future episodes, where we will continue to demystify aspects of this very interesting game.